Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Before we get into today's vlog, I wanted to tell you that I did not have my medication yesterday for my ADHD, and so it is a cluster of a bunch of different videos, and if you think that there's a storyline, you would be mistaken, but I highly recommend that you hang out and witness the chaos unfold. Let's start with some pancakes.
Ridiculous how easy it is to make. So this isn't the bit which I have not mastered. So Till had the suggestion that they were a little bit too thick, which I mean, to be fair, they are pretty chunk. But we're gonna see their attempt at flipping it. Slash struggling to flip it. Oh! Oh, you know what? Quite chuffed. Pretty decent, to be fair.
Oh, no.
How's that? Yeah?
Guys, I think I've brought it back to life. Kind of. Almost.
I'm trying to film in the kitchen, but this downhead lighting mixed with my oily forehead is just like, it's not meant to be. Look at this, I'm like a lighthouse. We're just getting ready to go to a rugby game, Scotland versus Spain, which will be amazing, but I wanted to show you guys this. It's Edinburgh gin. We've had like a little bit of it. We're not big drinkers, but we've got this bottle and we thought we'd have a little bit before we go to the rugby game. It smells amazing, so we're gonna make some cocktails. The only mixer I have for the cocktails is Sprite, so I think that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna have raspberry gin and Sprite. Fucking bullhead. That might be the best thing I've ever had.
And now what better way to round off a chaotic vlog than with a little bit of a rant? Enjoy.
Also, look how cute this pink little sports bra is. Oh, at Lululemon, please. I really like your clothes. Thank you. And since moving to the UK, Callum and I have gone to support the Scotland women's team a couple of times. We've seen them play Ireland and we've seen them play Wales, and it's kind of frustrating, and let me tell you why. One, because the tickets to the games last year were only £15. The men's game, the tickets are like £100+. And they have gotten slightly more expensive for this game, so that's pretty exciting. But I was just kind of looking in a little bit more detail into like the history of women's rugby in the UK and things like that. I just kind of wanted to inform myself a little bit better because I know that the Rugby World Cup is going on at the moment in France, the men's one, and there's a new women's 15s tournament going on, which is really, really cool. But still, with these like really great developments in the game and women's sports having record-breaking numbers, the BBC is still refusing to air like the Red Roses games, and they're the English women's team. That's pretty right? Anyways, down this little rabbit hole I went of information, and it got me thinking, who really is the greatest rugby team of all time? So I had a look, and what I learned this week is that the Black Ferns, New Zealand's women's rugby union team, is the most dominant rugby team in history. I previously thought that the best rugby team was the All Blacks, or the men's New Zealand team, but as it turns out, the New Zealand women's have won the World Cup 6 times. In 1998, 2002, 2006, 2010, 2017, and most recently in 2022. In 2022 was when they lifted that trophy on home soil for the first time, and they played in front of a then record crowd of 42,000 people for women's rugby. That is crazy. And I mean, that record's been broken. I'm pretty sure it was broken last year with England and France. If it hasn't, I'll be putting up the graphic of who actually broke it, but I think that's what happened. The men's All Blacks, or the men's rugby union team, have only won the World Cup 3 times. So the women are twice as dominant, but they often don't even come up in conversation of who is the greatest rugby team of all time. The Black Ferns also have a victory rate of over 85% in their international test matches. And that means that the Black Ferns literally have one of, if not the highest winning percentage in all of rugby. And I also didn't know this, but the Black Ferns in 2017 were also the first female team to ever be named Rugby Team of the Year. And with all of this success, I'm kind of wondering how I didn't know about it. I know if you're not a part of the rugby community, maybe this is something that you've haven't even considered. I'm a part of the rugby community. Callum plays rugby professionally. Like, this is something that I feel like I should know about. And so I dug a little bit deeper to try and find out how I missed this. I mean, it really felt like something that I should know. And then I stumbled upon this report called Where Are All the Women? And it's about the disparity of the media coverage between men's and women's sports. And I touched a little bit on this in one of my other videos, which I highly recommend you go check out. And quite frankly, it's alarming. The report was conducted on 5 countries: the UK, Malta, Greece, Sweden, and Romania. They found that in Malta and Greece, women's sports failed to even make up 2% of the coverage. In Sweden, it was only 3 to 6% of the coverage. And in the UK, the coverage ranged from 4 to 10%. What the Romania actually had the highest coverage, peaking at about 14%. But a great deal of this had to do with Simona Halep, the tennis star, and kind of like her celebrity status within the country. Although she just tested positive for banned substances, and so she's currently serving her doping ban as I'm speaking to you right now.
Yikes.
And I mean, isn't this insane? Aren't these percentages just maddening? And I mean, it's not as if women's sports don't have the fans, as can be demonstrated by sold out stadiums, sold out merchandise, and some of the highest stadium attendance records in history. Like, the most recent example that I can think of was the Matildas game in the Football World Cup, where in Australia, that match was literally the most watched television event ever. Not even on an international level, but you've got that college volleyball tournament that had like close to 100,000 attendees in the US. The numbers are there. So when are we just gonna like bite the bullet and give our women's sports a bit more airtime? Like, come on. So ridiculous. These media conglomerates could have such an impact in growing the sports that we love and seeing the women's game develop, but just refusing to stream it. Ugh. Anyways, that's something that made me mad this week. I highly recommend that you guys read the report as well, though, if you want to learn a little bit more. And I do hope that we can all kind of support women's sport a little bit more in the future. The Scottish women were amazing to watch today. The atmosphere in the stadium was unreal and such a fantastic outcome. And so if you have the spare money or if you have the resources, try and show up for these games. These athletes deserve our attention. They deserve our pride. They're incredible. And if you're tight for funds, then turning on the TV and watching women's sports, encouraging these media conglomerates or these corporations to air the games and to support our women and our fantastic athletes. That's what we want. Anyways, as always, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. That was some stuff that we got up to this week, and that was kind of my little rant of the day. As always, please make sure to like and subscribe, everybody. And if you do, I might like you back. Have an amazing week ahead, guys. Go wear something pink. Look how fun this is. Bye, everyone.